Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak and to all the Muslims out there. I was pondering and I was thinking, um, the Biden administration set aside $31 billion for Native American tribal governments and organizations, and I think also like Native Hawaiians and Native Alaskans. 31 billion. So I don't know what their population is in America. I think Native Americans are around like maybe 2.5, 3 million, but I don't know about Native Hawaiians and whatnot. Um, but nonetheless, the Biden administration set aside $31 billion for these groups of people. And it appears to me, and it should appear, I don't understand why we don't see this and why we can't understand this. As much as President Trump and most Republicans, for that matter, and say all, but most, are white supremacists. And we're not talking about the Democrats right now, just the Republicans. Native Americans, about 50% of them voted for Donald Trump. They weren't afraid of his white supremacy. About 35% of Asians voted for Donald Trump. They weren't afraid of his white supremacy. About the same percentage, 35, 30, 35, 40% of Latinos voted for Donald Trump. They weren't afraid of his white supremacy. And I'm not saying that black people should vote for Donald Trump or any Republican for that matter, because in my opinion, they're worse than the Democrats with their white supremacy. But at some point, black folks you got to stop just giving 90% of your votes to the Democrats, because they're not going to respect it. You understand? They're not going to respect it, period. Now, a lot of people are going to tell y'all to run out and vote for these people every election, but that's not getting us anywhere. So, me personally, when it comes time for Kamala to run, because I don't think Biden will do 2 terms. He's too old. I'd rather just not vote. I'll probably vote down ballot, but I'm not going to vote for this woman who out of her own mouth said, I'm not going to do anything just for black folks. But they gave Native Americans $31 billion. Okay? So I won't vote for the white supremacist Republican, but at the same time, I'm not going to keep voting for Democrats that we know don't care about us. They only care about us voting for them. You see what's happening in Georgia and Texas and these other states with these voter suppression laws. Democrats are up in arms about it. But that's the only thing they care about. They care about you Negroes, us Negroes. They care about us voting for them. But that's it. That's all they're going to do. They're going to make sure that you can get your black self out to vote for them. That's all they're going to fight for you. That's the only thing. That's the only issue that they're gonna fight for you about. They might talk about criminal justice reform and all that, but you know, they many of them are responsible for the current state of affairs in the criminal justice system. You know, they played their part in it, just like the Republicans. You know, so you know those are really the only issues that they're gonna deal with. They talk all that talk, but they give those other groups tangible financial resources. And Kamala said boldly, "I'm not going to do anything just for black folks," and laughed while she was saying it. Joe Biden, when they asked him about reparations in the Iowa debate, he said America needs to invest in Latin American immigrants. He was pressed about it another time, and he said only if it's tied to giving reparations to Native Americans. Okay, they just gave Native Americans $31 billion in this COVID relief bill. They didn't. They didn't give you anything out of that. Nothing. So we can't get reparations unless Native Americans are getting something too. But they gave them $31 billion in this COVID relief plan. They give you nothing. Okay. So black people, we gotta stop giving these Democrats votes at 90% rates. And if the Republicans look like they're on a downward slide, they were smart. They'd come out with some real serious tangibles and offer black folks for their votes. But then again, they got so many white supremacists in their party, they're probably not going to go over well. I don't know. But we got to stop just giving our vote to these Democrats, just giving it to them for nothing. No. We have to stop that, because that's not getting us anywhere. You know? Assalamu alaikum.